Hi again! Welcome to Michael's Musings. I'm Michael A. Jacob, author of Gender Shifter, social sci-fi, with a little bit of romance and a touch of gore. I grew up on B-movie horrors, so yeah, it's great. So, this video is going to be discussing my core series. Specifically, book 1, Core of Confliction. And this is my hot mess space drama where pretty much every character has bad judgment, messy sex lives, the whole 9 yards. This particular series, I will have you asking, what in the world were they thinking, and how are they going to get out of this now? Like I said, this was a fun one. This was like my first series I wrote. So, it was fun. Anyway, these are going to be short and sweet, to the point. This book has a lot of small chapters, but there's a lot of them. So I'm going to probably combine a bunch of them together, to keep kind of like the same topics. We're not going to go through every single one, because I don't want to get us bogged down in too much detail. So, we are going to talk about 2 characters this time, not just one, because this is a pair. Sara and Klein. Now, as humans, Sara and Klein are not the sharpest tools in the shed. Particularly Sara. She's kind of ditzy. She doesn't really. I mean, she can, observe her surroundings, but at the same time, she kind of doesn't. She kind of glances over things. She's like, oh, that thing. You just kind of like, oh, okay. She's one of the people you ask like a regular question, and she'll give you some weird answer, and you just kind of go, where did you get that from? Like, where did you see that, read that? Like, she's one of those. But at the same time, she's kind of fierce. She's a fighter, as we saw in the first scene in the first chapter, where she's like, I'm throwing some hands. So, I mean, she's that, but at the same time, she's kind of not quite, Klein has a little more common sense. He tries to keep Sara in line. He tries to she frustrates the crap out of him, because she's so ditzy and sometimes she's like brainless, and he's just kind of like, oh god, so he kind of has to take her with a grain of salt sometimes, and he's just like, oh god, when they're in bad situations, and he just has to kind of like, okay, Sara, we're gonna do this, and I don't want you to deviate from this plan, because you're gonna mess it all up. So just do what I tell you, and everything will be fine. Sometimes she does. Sometimes she goes on her own thing, and yeah, it messes everything up. So, they learn because Charles went to go, try to talk to the boss. That didn't quite happen. He ended up getting extracted back to New Lhasa. So they're still on Earth, and they're like, oh, so they're in front of the big boss, and they find out that, oh, they're kind of part of the reason that they're on Earth along with Jared and Charles. That they're, kind of sort of traitors, if you will. And of course they're like, no, we're not those kind of people. We don't stab our friends in the back. That's not us. And of course the boss is like, yeah, you are. Or you wouldn't be on Earth right now. And they're kind of, they're like, well, okay, so if we're aliens from another planet, and we're traitors. Like, well then, well we don't want to like. We don't want to get rescued. So, you know, and of course, Klein is like, no, we need to get rescued. Like, we need to get off this rock. You know, we need to figure out what's really going on. Yeah, the boss says we're traitors, blah, blah, blah. But, as I said, Klein has a little more common sense. He goes, I'm not taking that BS. You know, I'm going to learn the truth. If that happens to be the case, okay, cool. We'll figure it out then. But, right now, no. So, of course, they get rescued. They also get swept to New Lhasa. And they get the same cores and vessels spiel from Ghana that Jared got. Now Jaren. And, you know, Klein, you know, he's throwing himself under like, you know, Ghana's too. It's like, look, you know, I think we're the ones who messed this all up. You know, because Jaren is like, thinks, you know, it's Charles's fault. But then he's like, well, wait, no, there's another component. And so hearing what they have to say, he's like, and they don't even have the cores yet. Their original cores back yet. So, Ghana, you know, and Ghana, you know, oh, Ghana. We'll talk about Ghana later, but yeah, she's the spiritual leader, but also the head scientist. So yeah, there's a lot of contradiction there. Though, so they get their cores back, Sara and Klein. Klein, he's okay. He's like, all right. He gets his memories back. He realizes, yeah, we were traitors. We messed this all up, you know. But it's not all our fault because Charles had a hand in it too, you know. So he's on his knees. He's like, hey, you know, forgive us, you know, let us make it right, da da da. Sara gets her core back, and it's a whole nother story. It's kind of found out Sara and Klein, because they're actually, the reason why they're together because they're mates. So when Sara gets her core back, gonna find out Sara is actually male. And the tactician, leader of a clan of warriors that they wield swords. Actually, he's a dual sword wielder, so he's like the Shiznik, you know. And they're mates, and Klein is like, oh my gosh, you know, because like on Earth, you know, that was hinted at, and he was like, oh God, no, I could never be with someone brainless like that. But Sara, who is now Talus, is not brainless. So, and as I said, you know, when they get their cores back, they get not just their original memories back, but they also keep the memories that they had when they didn't have it. And so Talus is not quite one of those throw themselves on the sword type person. He was like, okay, yeah, okay, we're traitors. We messed up. Let's move on. Which pisses off a lot of people. Like, yeah, the people of New Lhasa are not having it. They didn't really like Talus to begin with, and that doesn't make it any better. And here we are, Klein, who's now Kellen, telling his mate, look, you need to like tone this down. We need to keep our heads down and like just say you're sorry, and let's just, you know, let's not antagonize this whole situation any further. So yeah, they're kind of like opposites, but they work together somehow. And Kellen is not a sword wielder; he's an energy user. So I'm gonna dive into that too as well. The different skills each one's has. So energy users, they can actually like generate like balls of energy. So he's an energy user, and then you have, you know, Talus, who's a sword wielder, like very hand-to-hand combat type. Whereas Kellen's like, yeah, I'm gonna hit you from afar with this. So it's kind of fun. with these two, especially with Talus, because like I said, he doesn't have much of a filter, and at the same time, he gives 0 F's. He's like, yeah, whatever, yeah, it's water under the bridge. Who cares? And that's not how that's gonna go. So that's Sara and Klein / Kellen Talus. Yeah, the whole water thing. It's so sweltering hot outside. It's not even funny. It's like 100 and something degrees outside, and I'm freezing inside the house, but I don't care. But anyway, that's all I got for now for Sara and Klein. If you like short and maybe not so sweet debates, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more of these, please subscribe. Also, I did do book 1 of my other series, Curve of Humanity, so you can also check that out. All those videos are up. Again, I love discussions. I love honest feedback. Feel free to, make a comment, ask questions, engage, if you will. I'm only ask that you be respectful and don't spam. Please don't do that. For the next video, we are going to talk about Ghana. Yeah. We're going to hit Ghana and maybe the big boss, maybe how far our lovely supreme ruler. So, yeah. So, stay tuned. More to come. Thank you for watching. If you want to know more about my works and more about me, I will have a link to my website in the descriptions, and also if you want to buy my books directly from me, that link will also be down there. Stay cool out there. Do not go outside in the inferno, because yeah, you will turn to dust out there. And yeah, may the universe grant all that you desire, and I will see you next time. Bye.